That's us.
Just one of those days, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Welcome. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I don't even know what's going to happen. It's been one of those days. I don't know if y'all had one of those days. Please let us know. Oh goodness, I made it too dark. But it's like everything I went to try to do or say, it just did not come out right. So here we are. Um, Thank you, Diana, for coming here and because Diana's got all the information. I
Who
had
are
a
you
sick
talking
dog
to?
all day. I had a sick dog, very sick dog. I found out, and he can't really walk up the stairs anymore. So it was a long day trying to figure out everything because I have cats and they never have met before until today. Yeah. Anyway,
And
I hope.
everybody in the chat is sitting there wondering now, how did you do that trick?
Oh goodness. That was just put him on a leash, put his harness on. It's not on his neck because what happened is he hurt his neck going down the stairs or up the stairs, and it shot pain all through his limbs, and he shook. I mean, literally shook for 20 minutes, and it was the most horrifying thing I've seen. And he was wanted to lay in the grass, so I was out there laying in the grass with him. Anyway, called the vet, and she said that it seems like he had a spinal thing going on, something like how we get pinched nerves. That's basically what he had. But while she was checking him out, he has a mass on his abdomen. Now he's 17, about 17, and I mean I know he's older and stuff, but I just don't want him to be in pain. And it was just a long day with that, trying to get all that straightened out, have the cats be free, and come on here. That's why I had to change the time because I was having a problem. Then I forgot to even post for the show. I posted it on the community board, but I didn't even post the link for the show.
Can I ask you, can you hear my neighbor is out there mowing his lawn? Can anybody hear that?
I don't hear it.
Okay.
Let me say hi to everybody. Thank you, Joe G. That is, I appreciate that. I do. Thank you, Juno. Everybody sending buddy love. I appreciate that. Hi, Kayla. Hi, Perrette. Um, let's see. I know we have Karen Robinson. Hi.
T-Barb is here too.
T Barb. Hi. Amanda Carroll. Hi. I don't see T Barb.
Pierrette, hi.
I don't see T Barb. Oh well. Oh, there she is. Oh, it is so good to see you all. Thank you
Hi,
for
Ron.
coming. Hi, Ron. Ron just did a show with Allie.
Oh,
I was trying to watch it, but I couldn't. So I will get to it. Hey,
same here.
Jenny, how are you? um, I want to say thank you to everyone who sent me a birthday wish. I was just blown away at all the birthday wishes, and I mean, really made my day. Thank you so much for all of that. It was just beautiful. Um, Diana painted me a picture, and I'm mad because I left it downstairs on my altar, and it's a dragon. It's gorgeous. Oh my gosh! So I had a really good birthday. And here we are tonight. After all of that, we're going to talk about the new moon in Cancer. And I guess if there's one thing I can say for that, it is, we're planting new seeds, but this is also the nodes change today from Scorpio to Taurus to Aries North Node to Libra South Node. And that is going to be there for 18 months about. And those change in the nodes, it's a change. It really changes everything. I always say everything's changing the energy, and there another portal's open. And oh goodness, what did you call that about the portal, Diana? The keepers of the portal.
Keepers, yeah,
That's all,
guardians. We are the guardians of the portal.
guardians of the portal. So thank you for showing up. I appreciate it because we all need that. We're here to help Mother Earth raise her vibration while we individually raise our vibrations, and it has not been an easy road. But these energies that have been opening up for us since the equinox, opening their higher vibrating energy, but at the same time, we are being like all the solar flares, everything's removing any density or blocks in us or Mother Earth. And it's been quite intense on the solar flares. And you can see all the fires, all these things. It is very fiery energy. Um, that will pass, but it's going to be bumpy. It is. It's going to be bumpy for about a year and a half, 2 years. Um, the weather will change after summer, but it's still going to be. Mother Earth has been so abused that she has climate issues now because of man, and here we are. So, but she's raising the vibration too, and we are all going to elevate, I believe, into ascension or into a higher vibration. Like we're in the third dimension, but we straddle third dimension and higher all day. And sooner rather than later, I believe, we're going to stabilize in those higher vibrations. But in the meantime, we have these moons and we have all these planetary aspects that are going to they do usher us on. They kind of help lift us up, but at the same time it's very uncomfortable because of all the stuff, emotions, the stuff, you realize, and I hate my job, or I don't like my relationship, or whatever, and all these things are coming up for us to really really make that choice, because everything with Venus and Leo and all this Leo's coming up, right? And another portal, 8-8 Lionsgate. But the Venus in Leo, she just went retrograde. Did she go retrograde?
No, she's very slow. She is not stationed yet. She will stop and station on the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
But that's moving so slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's as if she's already stationed.
Right. And she is moving slow and is going to go into that retrograde and won't come out fully until the beginning of October. But that is all by design, because Venus is what you love. And I mean everything from A to Z. It is helping us connect to our hearts. And if we don't figure out or know that I'm going with what I love, I'm going with my heart's desires and dreams, that's what she's going to be shaking us up to do.
She's already at 28 degrees.
Yeah.
She's at 7 minutes, but that 28 degree is where she's done. She's going to go backwards. So she's only going to move a few more minutes of arc, It
is, so here we are. Now Mars and Saturn are opposing, which Diana brought up a good point yesterday when we were doing the 12 universal spiritual laws on the Crone zone. The oppositions, everybody wants in astrology especially wants to say, oh, that's like they're tugging and pulling, and to an extent they are, but really that energy is flowing back and forth. They're more supportive. We have all these squares though, and you can go in about that, Diana, if you don't mind.
Well, especially when it comes to the North Node and the South Node, because they're not necessarily two separate points. They're an axis.
Right.
They're the sacred geometry of a point and the line that joins the two. Okay. So
would it be like an opposition?
Well,
like if you said, yeah, right? Because
they are on the opposite sides. But what do you do when you are not on an opposite side? Like yesterday, if you have two handles on a heavy bucket and it's filled with water, you can't pick it up by yourself and carry it. You need someone on the opposite side to help you carry it.
Mhm. I'm just putting that up. So I was going to say thank you when you were done. I will. Thank you. So please bear with me, guys. I'm not doing so well. All right, go ahead. I'm not interrupting anymore.
so, so the nodes themselves are a straight axis. It is not
Mhm.
a planet coming into a position to be opposite another planet. Now, if those two planets have a natural disposition to get into trouble, or the signs that they're in have a natural opposition to get into trouble, you can make a choice. You decide which planet you're going to do and which planet you're just going to say, okay, the end of that. You
Yeah.
can't really do that with the nodes because they are one long axis. They are joined at the hip,
Mhm.
So as one moves, so does the other.
And
So
that's
now they are honestly in Aries and Libra. They have left the Taurian window behind. The door is shut. They're in Aries. They're at 59 minutes, and I've just looked at it and forgot already. Anyway, they're planted. They're planted.
Can I ask a question about that? When the nodes change like that, right? And we're leaving one set of nodes for another, but they're still so close together. Do you think like for a few degrees that they you kind of have all four of those energies coming?
Yes, because they're still within orb. Most astrologers will give a node at least 1 degree of orb.
Right.
But I personally see that it is still, especially when it is in a power shift like this,
Yeah.
and it is at a critical degree of 29 degrees.
Yeah.
So, of course, it still has this window that they're close enough to holler to each other between the Taurus. And here's the thing.
That's
Okay. So Taurus is ruled by what planet? Venus.
Venus.
And Libra is ruled by what planet?
Venus.
Okay. And Scorpio is ruled by
Pluto.
and
Mars.
And Aries is ruled by
Mars.
They can't help but work,
Ah,
right?
I love that explanation. I love it. Um, so okay, so then explain the squares with Pluto, right? And these nodes are squaring Pluto. This is gonna
Right.
go on for
Well,
the rest of the
Pluto
month?
is actually squaring the nodes.
Okay.
And Pluto is across from the sun and the moon.
Okay.
Now, the moon has already begun to separate. He's at 28 degrees already, so he's starting to walk on. And the sun is still in that direct. And as the moon gets farther away from the sun, that cross is going to be formed between the opposition of the sun and Pluto. Now, the sun is the sun. Pluto can't do too much against the sun without the sun saying, oh no, I'm the sun. I'm sorry.
I'm the sun.
So again, we have an opposition, but they are working together to carry the load.
Yeah.
And the nodes will always be. The North Node is about what is your way forward? How do you make progress? And it's in a sign that is ruled by an action-oriented planet.
Right.
And Libra, the South Node, is about what no longer serves you. What can you leave behind? What are your past lives? What did you learn from the past? And Libra, being ruled by Venus, has attachments to the past. It's comfortable.
Yeah.
You're used to beating yourself up, to the self-sabotage, to others, using your kindness and overusing your kindness. But you get comfortable with that. And it no longer serves you. It's time to leave it. So now that it is in a place where it has, it's in the first house because, well, I'm sorry, it's in the first house for me because that's my rising sign. Hello, come back to earth a little bit. See, shift happens.
It is just all day. Well, it's been 3 years. It's been longer than that, actually, if
Yeah.
I'm honest with everybody.
Well, and we had the Taurus Scorpio axis for 18 months, and we're going to have Aries and Libra for 18 months. So that in itself is not an unusual thing. But the fact that it is this big change at the top of the zodiac signs, it is a big deal. It is something. Because the North Node is in the first sign of the zodiac.
Right. So we're going to be motivated to act, right? To have, and with Libra in the South Node, you could look at it, yeah, what relationships aren't working and things like that. But that is also about balance for you. What have you not been balanced? Where have you not been balanced in your life?
Right.
But it's feisty. It's going to stay feisty for a little bit because Pluto's staying in the mix, and we have. Go ahead.
Well, and as soon as the sun has moved out of that, Venus is going to slip into it because Venus is retrograde, and so now she's going to be forming that opposition. And here we are with Venus being the planet of love opposite Pluto. Now she's a morning star, and she has more of a masculine side when she's retrograde. She's more ready to take action, like Mars is ready to take action. So now we have Venus creating a different kind of a balance with Pluto. And Pluto's going to be a little bit more considerate of Venus.
Yeah.
And if you think about a Grand Cross as like the cross of the Knights Templar, it's a just cause.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Working
equilateral. Yeah,
right.
Equilateral cross.
Right.
That is true. Okay, I like that. But that just cause that Diana is talking about, and I'm with her on this, is there's change in the systems. The systems are being revamped, whether they admit to it or not. And that's happening with Pluto. Now, he went back into Capricorn for this little bit, but when he goes back into Aquarius, you're going to see systems being restructured to be more life-affirming for everyone, not just the top few percent.
Right. Well, I was just going to agree with all of that. Absolutely. And because when he goes in January 24th, when he gets back into back into Aquarius, we're going to see this is the moment we've all been waiting for, basically. Right. Now, reminder, the end of 2024, he's going to dip his toe again into Capricorn, but it's not going to be this far, and it's not going to be as long as it is this time. It's going to be from September to November 8th, I think, something like that. So it's only going to be a couple of months that he is back in Capricorn, and then when he is back in Aquarius from there, that's it. That's more
Capricorn. Yeah, lots of change.
And that's when.
Go ahead.
Well, that's when we see more community based thinking, thought patterns, more
what's best for everybody.
And support.
Yeah.
You will see unity becoming stronger throughout 2024. It may seem to be somebody hit the pause button for a little while, but it will strengthen. And you have to give these things time.
Yeah. Especially the outer planets.
Especially.
And Pluto is so exact in in his ways, because it is about truth and integrity with Pluto.
Right.
And but like when he's back in Capricorn right now, we're going to see those, people being arrested, systems being scrutinized,
Right.
things happening like that. And it seems like, oh my God, I'm watching paint dry. But really, it's really going to come, because he's going to be in Aquarius for 20 years,
Right.
So these energies here, that let's just go to the equinox up to now, are what is fine tuning the future, even though we can't see it, right? But you can read a lot in the planets on how that future is going to unfold. And it's all of it, even though we have these bumpy parts, it's all to release all that no longer serves. So um it 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 will be a, well, it is. It's just going to be bumpy next 2 years. I can't make it. I wish I could say it wasn't, So this is why spirit, the planets, everything is spirit to me. Spirit is asking us to authentically look into our hearts and go from there, and you can't go wrong.
Right.
What do you think?
Does everybody understand what a node is? What the lunar node is about?
Bye, Jean. Thank you. Fine tuning. Yes, Amanda Carroll. Does everyone understand what we've been saying about the nodes? We haven't even really got to the moon yet.
So it's a standing point, is what it is. Okay, it's where the orbit of the moon in its circle around the Earth, right, intersects with Earth's orbit around the sun. And the easiest way to explain it is if two people hold a rock and drop it in the water, it spirals out, right? There are waves, circular waves that come out from there, and where they intersect, that's the node.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, having animal issues.
Oh.
Where's everyone going? Okay, so those nodes, throughout time, throughout astronomers and astrologers, they have a certain flow, and this has been documented for thousands of years. So this is how they got to be such an important point for us, because they're the only ones that go backwards.
Right. They go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've heard the true node and the mean node, right? The mean node, what nodes actually do is kind of a flow forward and a flow back and a flow forward and a flow back. Well, that's too hard to keep track of because they move in a retrograde motion almost all the time. But when they're going forward, they're kind of going in the same direction as the rest of the planets, but that's not going to last, and it's going to go backwards again, and it doesn't go very far. So it's like the wave lapping against the boats, So we in astrology stick with the true node because that's a pretty stable time. It's
Right.
pretty much what you really, really measure. So, and these are the kind of times where, enter the silence. Enter the silence.
Yes.
And because there is a quickening going on.
Yes.
And Pluto is about death and rebirth, right? He's about deconstruction and then finding where you can rebuild and how you can rebuild. And then Neptune is about dissolving it, and Uranus is about the support of to move forward and breaking free from the past. So it's entering the silence when you need to, and it's okay to do that.
Yes.
We all need.
Yeah. And in fact, isn't it encouraged, especially with this Cancer new moon, it is connect to your feelings. Cancer rules it's nurturer, it's feelings, it's the emotions, and it's
Mm-hmm.
the tides, and we're mostly water, so we're affected by those tides too. So to really do a Cancer moon good, you connect, go into that time, that meditation, go in
Sure.
and honestly talk about how you want to move forward, because that's when your heart is actually speaking to you, when you're quiet enough and you can feel your feelings, and that way you make better choices. That's the best way to go. That's what I
Sure.
think.
And the reason why I brought up those three planets is because
Hmm.
Pluto is trining Neptune, and he is in a sextile to Uranus.
Uranus, yeah.
So those are easy going times. Those are how you can see it. So by looking at what those three planets do, at what they measure, it is the deconstruction of the old. Neptune is helping to dissolve that by being
Mhm.
in trine. And then Uranus is support for the moving forward and the rebuilding, the rebirth of it. So that's a lot.
It
Sorry.
is. It is a lot, and we have, okay. So Neptune's in Pisces, and Neptune rules Pisces, but we have Saturn in Pisces. That is really making this the the boundaries of the systems and the structure are really, there isn't any. We're making them new, and that goes for everything, not just the systems and the structures, but us too. So where maybe you could see where maybe you've been too rigid with yourself, or maybe you're not as have a structured enough boundary in some area, and look into that. Um, but
And
this, go ahead.
well, the other thing that I sort of forgot to mention, but want to add this in, is that, if you've ever walked a medicine wheel, the Native American medicine wheel is the Good Red Road from the south to the north. You enter at the east to the west. And what do we have in a Grand Cross? The whole medicine wheel. So your blueprint are the stops along the way on this medicine wheel created by a Grand Cross.
Hmm. And that's everybody. There was a couple people, Gypsy, JJ, Ron, Genosphere, that weren't too sure about the notes, but I think she said thank you.
Okay.
I think she said thank you for sharing explanations. It's not easy, and we're not trying to come on here and make this like sound like we're speaking another language, even though I know that's what it sounds like. It is so important that we understand the direction we're headed. Okay, the north node, what we're leaving behind, the south node, with this beautiful new moon in Cancer, and those attributes for each one. Cancer emotions, that north node in Aries is going to want to act, ruled by Mars. You're gonna have like fire ready to go, and that can be beautiful. But if you haven't gone in and connected to your heart, in this case especially with all that Venus and Leo, it can disrupt you instead of assist you, and that's what we're trying to to help you understand. you know um, i I struggle too. Sometimes I'm like, where, okay, what, who? But Diane explains it really well.
Thank you.
You.
So, and think of it as an opportunity to bring the meta into the physical.
Mm, mm,
Meta is the higher self. The meta is the higher octaves of frequency. It is that light language.
mm,
It is the gods and goddesses, the angels, the the pixies and the elves, the fairies, the dragons, but they're out there where we can't see it. So it's about bringing that into the physical, metaphysical, and let's all go shopping. I mean,
and so we're bringing it down, and I mean, really, you can create anything. Right. These energies, since equinox, is about creating the life of your dreams by following your heart. And this is, we really didn't have that permission, let's say, most of our lives, but this is spirit saying that's the way forward. Feel it. What is it that is making your heart smile, And so,
well, and getting out of this month is not going to be a piece of cake just because we had this big shift. What's going to happen really is, it's going to be it's that harmonic fine tuning of a quincunx. It's trying to get it right, and something happened, and the volume went the wrong direction, or the bass went the wrong direction, and now there's too much trouble, and you can't just get it correct. You keep trying, but that's what the quincunx is about. It's a harmonic that you're trying to get it right.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of fine-tuning a dial.
Minuscule in between. Yeah, just can't quite get it right. So there's four of them coming up. There's actually 5 or 6 others out there. I mean, in total, about 6 of them. But that's just through the end of this month. So we have Mercury, Sun, and Venus going to create 2 of them. And then we also have Pluto, Neptune, and Saturn creating another. Now, if you have the 2 planets at the base farther apart, it's a yod. It's the finger of God. But it's not quite the finger of God. And so what we've got are these quincunxes with trines at the base instead of squares.
Mm-hmm. So, and that is just helping us hone in. That's going to be part of the bumpiness, because every day there's new aspects going on above us. But we're trying to say what's coming up to like the next till August, where we're at.
And you watch those last few days, we're going to get a lot of information coming out about a lot of things that us, especially in the community. Take a deep breath. And then on the 21st, that's when we're going to be into the Sun Pluto only in that opposition. And so keep singing the song, standing on shaky ground.
Yeah, okay. So I wrote down, Cancer only prefers safety and security, a place to feel comfortable, soothing. Cancer is home and asks, are you comfortable in your home? Now, I'm using that as your body is your home. Mind, body, soul. Are you comfortable there? And if not, figure, that's where we get to feel into these details. How can I feel comfortable at home? What can I do to bring that in?
That's beautiful. That is exactly what all of this Jupiter and Mars and Venus, Neptune, all of that is about. It's just what you said. That's fantastic. It's about being focused. As hard as it's going to be, keeping your eye on the vanishing point, keeping your eye on the ball when you're playing golf. It's just staying focused on one thing at a time instead of trying to get it all done at once. Multitasking is going to be too difficult right now.
Oh my God.
And Jupiter, we have Jupiter who is in this half square to Pluto, and Jupiter can only expand as far as Saturn allows him. He's never quite broken away from the influence of Daddy Saturn. But Neptune, he broke away. So Neptune is out there. So Jupiter can only go that far, but Neptune escaped the dad syndrome. And that makes you want to let go of ego, but you can't. You must keep your ego, keep it in check, but you have to have an ego for discernment. You have to have an ego for boundaries to prevent being the doormat or to prevent taking advantage of others.
Right. The ego is supposed to work for the heart. Okay. So once the heart knows what it, we got these thoughts and beliefs trickle down and the heart gets excited about it, right? The ego is supposed to go, okay, let me make this happen. That's not supposed to abuse you or confuse you or any of that. And the way you know you're on the right track is that you feel it. It feels good. It actually brings you joy. We're not supposed to just struggle and suffer. And this is all new. That's when I say the new energies. That's what's changing about it, because too many people are struggling and suffering. And I'd be an idiot to sit here and say, oh, everything's just going to be rainbows and unicorns. It's going to take time, but we are working it there. And the reason why is because of people like you all. If it wasn't for you all standing here in your light, being the light worker, love worker, energy worker that you are, and we're all over the world holding the space to see that higher world coming.
Yes, Amanda. Do not try any new beauty tricks when Venus is retrograde. They will always backfire. Yeah. Right. If you want your haircut, do it now.
It should have been today. Yeah, new moons are for haircuts, right? That's what I always say. Cutting your nails, or anything you want to grow better, because new moon is planting seeds. So, okay, we have the intentions, right? And this is another thing Diana saying. On new moons we plant our seeds, plant our intentions. Of course, if there's anything that needs released, I like to write that down, burn that paper. I kind of stick with the same things because mine are growing. It's a big thing. So anyway, where was I going with that? So the well, the new moon, planting that seed, right? And you got to look at the planet, okay, or the sign, Cancer, right? Your emotions. It's good to plant these emotional seeds, or these things that you feel something for. Of course, that's usually what we're doing. We're doing intentions. But I honestly forgot what I was going to say. It'll come back.
Let's say this: getting out of confusion. When you get into confusion, what is con? Con is conjoined together. And what is fused? Melting together, right? Melted together. So this is when you get confused. Check in with your ego and do something special for your ego, so that your ego can find where he begins and the other stuff ends.
Right.
Right.
That's what I was getting to. The ego. Yes.
And how do we do that best? Begin by entering the silence, meditation, yoga, anything, whatever it is for you. Walking meditation is also good because it's summer for most of us and we want to get out there and do things, right? And so a walking meditation or a working meditation is also a good way to get in touch with your ego.
Mindful meditation, just staying conscious of every moment. When we're thinking about the future or we're stuck in the past, we're not living our lives. If you're not in the moment, being as grateful as you can for that moment, for what's going on. I think the dog's crying. I might have to stop just for a second and let you go if I have to check on him. Give me a second. But the ego is here for us to help the heart bring in our desires, our wishes. It's not there to take us off the path. And we do need the ego, like Diana said. We are not in judgment, but in that discernment. All right, guys, I'll have to be right back in one second. All right. Sorry.
That's okay. So quickly, on the 23rd, when Venus starts to make her move backwards, we're also going to have Mercury squaring Uranus. So watch abrupt language to yourself and to others. Buffer what it is you have to say. I'm not saying mask the truth. I'm just saying watch your words. Say it even if it's going to hurt, there's still another way to say the truth without causing too much disruption. And then that on the 25th, that Grand Cross is going to feel powerful again. And that's going to feel like the endings, but with an ending, there is a beginning. So it's the moon is now going to be squaring the sun, where once they were working together, but the moon is going to be trining Saturn. So that is going to be helpful. And then on the 26th, we have that powerful quincunx that I've been talking about, where the four of them just kind of string themselves together there. It's a powerful time to do the fine tuning, to enter the silence for yourself so you can hear where it's just slightly off kilter and be able to put that together. On the 28th, it's like, that's the big expanse, right? It's the moon has a square to Saturn, and the sun is quincunx Saturn. So those two things are really going to be where, and I better keep my mouth shut and just play with the volume control or the treble bass and trying to get it right for myself first before I try to preach it right to anybody else. Right. And then we're going to have that itchy, ouchy days throughout that last stretch. But that doesn't mean that it's going to disrupt your whole life. It's not. When you know it's coming, you can, put cotton wrap around you. Put memory foam everywhere.
Oh God, I love memory foam, don't you? Yeah, and it's bumpy, right? So when it gets bumpy like that, you're absolutely right. Go inside. It really boils down to something really simple through this whole next 2 years, no matter what's going on. Are we choosing love or are we choosing fear?
Right. And so, right. And we end on the 30th. We've got a beautiful grand trine in Earth. Right. So we're going to have Uranus in Taurus. The moon is going to be in Cancer, and Virgo is in Cancer. I mean, Virgo is in Cancer. Mars is in Virgo. And of course, we've got Pluto in Cancer as well. So that is earthbound. Ground yourself. Enter again. Take a moment. Enter the silence. Ground yourself. And see what kind of hopes you want for August, because August is bringing better things our way. For sure. Dynamic changes are here. Stay in your integrity. If it's hard, enter the silence. Keep the wide open and focus. Go there, but don't leave yourself there. Remember to come back and stay grounded in it all.
Right. Yeah, lots and lots of grounding all day, connecting to higher self, grounding. I did that all day. And don't get me wrong, I was frustrated. I was really sad. I was upset, but I kept bringing myself right back into, okay.
Yeah, right. And you need to go feel those things, because if you don't, you know what happens.
Yeah, get stuck. That's the stuff that the solar flares are removing. All those stuck blocks and all that density from lifetimes of God knows how long, but it is. Does anyone have any questions about any of this? Because we're going to go into Leo season now on what is that, the 21st or 22nd this month?
21st.
21st.
It all happens so fast right
I
there.
know.
Sun goes into Leo, and so yeah.
It is so fast. And Leo is fiery when we got the Venus in Leo. And right now, Venus is sitting at, well, it's 28 degrees Leo, but that's in orb of the fixed star Regulus. So Regulus is in play, Sirius is in play. All these big, what's cross? Oh my goodness, my brain just went. Whatever, what's across from Sirius? Another big, huge sun, and we're having all this energy just coming through, like it's pouring down onto us through our sun, right? And look what our sun is doing. It's, I don't know how many solar flares we've had in the last couple of days, but it's been quite a few.
Well, and tomorrow, watch, because the winds are supposed to get here from the big CMEs that were forecasting on the 15th. So, yeah, and I did have a couple of bouts of heavy wind here today, but tomorrow's supposed to be when they really get here.
Yeah, and you can feel the energetic winds too. I mean, just in your life, you know, oh, what is that? You feel that energy kind of knock you off your center for a second.
So, can I give that quote
Sure,
from yesterday?
sure.
One thing to remember to keep yourself in integrity is this quote that I found with Brian Froud in one of his books, but it was written by anonymous. That's how long it's been around.
Wow.
But the quote is, "The lifting of a finger disturbs the farthest star." So there's going to be a disruption because you've moved the energy. What do you want to move? What do you want to present in that movement you're offering the universe? Right?
That's where that power of your intention, of your thoughts, you know, having your thoughts in right alignment for what it is that you are creating, because these are all new creational energies, and we are creating new ways of living, new outside of the box. This is all Uranus Aquarius stuff, outside the box.
Well, and shall we do the universal, not that we have to go into all of the universal laws, but Valerie did something brilliant and then discovered that nobody else had done it as far as she could find. And I have a tendency to think it's true because as far as I know, nobody's done it. I've never seen it before. And so Valerie put together the signs of the chart, of the zodiac rather, and how one sign actually correlates with one of the laws. Right?
Really cool.
I'll read the law. You got your list?
Yeah.
How about if I read the law and
Okay.
you bring up the zodiac sign?
Okay.
Divine oneness. Everything is connected. Thoughts, words, actions. Who is that?
Pisces.
There you go. Because he's got the feet, right? He controls the feet and everything is above him and nobody's going nowhere without that.
I always forget Pisces. I always think Pisces is way up here, not even connected to a body part, but it is the feet.
Right.
Pisces rules, yeah.
Because he doesn't like boundaries. He doesn't have boundaries. He's just, no, I'm water. And what did you say yesterday? The spark of the divine?
Yeah, we are all a spark of the divine, and if we can look at everything, even your phone, anything, a cup, everything has a spark of the divine in it. So if we look at the law of divine oneness and can see that even in anybody, in anything, and realize that we're all connected, that's like the foundation. You know, we're going to get into these laws a lot more with Sun Psychic Jean, and I are going to do a show on them, a few shows. Diana and I are going to do some shows on them, or bring them in, you know, because it's so important to know these laws. These laws are, I mean, they they are in action all day, every day, whether we're conscious of it or not.
Right.
So if you start with the first law and know that yes, you are a spark of the divine and you are connected to everything else, doesn't mean that you have to love everything else or be with everything else. Really, respect it, but to you get that choice, that discernment is where that comes in, to
Right.
discern that.
The second one is vibration. And
Well,
so vibration, it's frequency. It can be words. It's color language, because every vibration is a frequency and a frequency has a color. So it's what sign did you say that was?
I said that was Gemini.
Yeah,
Gemini.
that's it. Because what does Gemini do? She's the quick talker. He's the quick talker. He delivers. He goes and gets the info and brings it back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's Quicksilver. He's here to drop the info. You do with it what you will, and off he goes.
I'm on my way.
Yeah. Correspondence.
The law of correspondence is Virgo.
There you go. Because he, Virgo, is the higher form of Gemini. Both are controlled by Mercury, but we have more discerning language sometimes with Virgo.
Yeah.
And Virgo is a perfectionist, and Virgo likes to be in service to people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the fourth is awareness.
Which one is aware? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Attraction.
Attraction.
reading one of my notes. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Fourth is attraction. Like attracts like. North Pole, north and south, they're an axis, but it's like one long rod of magnetism going in one direction.
Right. And that's Leo.
There you
go. Law of attraction.
Right. So if you have two south ends, what happens? They begin to repel each other until one of them flips around. And then you have that steady flow again of attraction. And the fifth planet, action. Who's that? Action, reaction. In fact, all of them get this lifting of one finger. That's a vibration as it moves through the universe, right? So with action and reaction, what are positive actions? We want them to travel up. What happens with the negative action? It pulls us down. Who's that?
Aries. And that's where our north node is. So we're going with Aries. And oh God, that was a good point you just said about is your action in alignment or not, right? That is really important. Well, it's always important, but this is really going to be the focus with the Aries north node.
Right, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, is ruler of the first house of the zodiac. And that is about ego, because it is what you put forward first. It is the first place. Okay, next is perpetual transmutation. So it's
energy.
We in our metaphysical lingo, we call it Klingons. Parasites. We were astral traveling and we picked up a Klingon, but it's also fear versus the fearless, and change the negative, and so it's transmutation, and where is it? Transmutation, mutate, formulate, and figure eight.
Yeah, transfigure.
Because you transfigurate. When the transfiguration is complete, it's now spiritual. What happened in Christ's transfiguration? He went from being a body to being a spirit.
And that's ruled by Scorpio. So Scorpio can take toxins and transmute them. Always making something
Right.
better than it
Right.
was, or
It's
you find the like even in a parasite or in a toxin, there's usually something in there that can
right.
counteract whatever it was. So that's
Exactly. He filters it. He does not adopt it. He does not adapt to it. He rather finds the good property of it and transmutes it, metamorphoses it into something that's usable for himself. The tree frogs in South America have a membrane around their skin that is poisonous. We can't touch it. We're not supposed to touch it. You will get sick and you could possibly die from that membrane. However, scientists have discovered that that membrane transmuted becomes an antibiotic that helps humans get healthy.
so cool.
Yeah. Cause and
Really.
effect. The seventh one, cause and effect.
That's Saturn.
At Saturn.
Saturn. Okay, why are we doing this? To do this. Always has a plan. Always has uh, a way to get from point A to point B, and very efficient. You know,
Right. So overindulgence is a cause. The effect is disease, right?
Mhm.
We make ourselves sick with too much sugar. We make ourselves sick with too much vile talk.
Mhm.
It eats at us,
Mhm.
you know? So, what kind of causes do we want? We want to cause positive change.
Right.
And by doing what we should do always is to remember language is that frequency, and there is a positive and a negative way to say anything you want to say.
That's true. That's the truth.
Compensation, number 8. Compensation. That's something that we all struggle with when we're tarot readers, and we all think
Mhm.
that, we've been, I shouldn't get paid for this. I should just, no, it's compensation. Compensation might not be monetary, right?
Right.
What sign is that one?
That's Taurus.
There you go.
Jupiter in Taurus right now. This is helping us figure out uh, expanding ways to think outside the box to figure out how to what is the compensation I need to
Oh,
go forward, right?
that's Uranus in Taurus right now too, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
A lot of help coming from that. So it's not just monetary, is it? It's credentials, it's validation, it's reputation. Once upon a time, people didn't go to college to learn how to do everything, and now everybody has to go to specialty school to learn how to be something. Where
Mhm.
before you used to just stand on validation and reputation because somebody from another town discovered you were the best blacksmith around. So he came to you for his nails, he came to you for his horseshoes, he came to you to get carriages repaired. And so it's just basically reputation and then paying it forward, right?
Yeah. Could be anything. Could be
Right.
anything. We are always being compensated for, and you
Barter
put
system,
right,
or you do this for me, I do that for you.
right.
Barter, right? Relativity.
Cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, so this,
So relativity, my messy kitchen or my organized kitchen 2-3 times a week. The rest of it is like frat house, John Belushi's movie.
it's all on
Oh,
how you see it, right? Or how it what you see feels to you. Is that about right? What you
right.
see? Okay.
Yeah. Think about it. If it doesn't bother me, and
Right.
I'm the only one living here, is it
Mhm.
really messy?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I've
Yeah.
seen it worse. That's usually what I say. Well, you've done worse.
Amanda said her daughter has a messy kitchen.
It's supposed to be a sign of a good cook, but I don't cook that much anymore. I live here by myself, so.
Oh,
And I'm a
I'm
vegan,
sorry,
so I'm a lot of fresh food eater.
Amanda. I don't even know how to take these comments down. I know if I'm on there, I can do it. Now I can't find it. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so
There
we
we go.
were on Cancer.
There we go.
So again, it's thoughts. It's thoughts and focus makes it relative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just your relations, not just your brothers and sisters, but it's your friends. How do you relate to them? How do you stay in positive relationship with that, everything that's around you? Because there are no inanimate objects, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything flows. Everything it
It's a
inanimate
spark.
to us visually doesn't mean it isn't moving. It just moves so slow in its density form that we
Mm-hmm.
can't see, because our eyes are looking for at least our speed,
Mm-hmm.
if not faster than that.
I just went
Polarity.
up here, and Karen, the dog, is being taken care of. I wouldn't have left him. He's good. He had to be alone for a second when my son walked away and he had a fit. So I'm gonna go down with him when we're done. Hi, Aaron. Hi, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. All right. I'm sorry.
All
What
right. That's all right. No. Polarity. The
polarity?
dual, right? Duality without any absolutes. What is polarity?
Sagittarius.
Ah,
I mean,
the higher form of Gemini again,
yeah.
because he's about going to school all the time, right?
Mhm.
He's about
Learning.
being the gypsy doing it, and the
Mm,
expansion of Jupiter.
and yeah, Sagittarius never. Well, I think most of us don't stop learning ever. I mean, we can't really, but Sagittarius seeks it out. That
How'd you
era.
say yesterday? The detachment of the material world,
Hmm.
right?
I don't have. I don't have that in front of me. Let's see. Oh Lord, it's starting to rain.
Oh,
Thank God. It was so hot.
rain
Um.
in Virginia is a good thing.
Yeah, especially on the coast, because the
Yeah.
storms usually just flow right over top of us. Don't even hit us. All right, so I don't know what I have. I can't find it.
Okay. Well, I wrote that down. I think that's what you said. So it's balance and focus, right? Detachment from distractions of the material world,
Oh,
and
here.
have oneness.
Yeah. Mastery of the law of polarity requires learning how to maintain balance, focus, and detachment from the distractions of the material world. So be a neutral observer, absorb information. We always want to study, 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 but we really absorb it in
Hmm.
our
And
all our
Sag
bodies.
is, sorry, Sag is the perpetual student.
Hmm. Hmm.
So number 11, rhythm.
Rhythm is Aquarius, the two waves, right?
Yeah,
Always, always moving, always changing,
yeah,
but for the
perpetual,
better, right?
perpetual. And that brings us back to that vibration and frequency again. All of these, every single
Oh,
one of these laws of the universe are connected to the next. They're building blocks that are like the kind of like the Wheel of Fortune, or more like the World card in the
mm-hmm,
Major Arcana.
mm-hmm,
So it's being malleable, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah. And Aquarius is always, Aquarius is what's going to get us through. Pluto and Aquarius is really going to like pull up humanity. And that's what I see. Anyway.
Sure, he's a fixed sign, but that doesn't mean he's more fixated on fixing it
Yeah.
than he is
Everything,
on
yeah.
staying in the same place.
Everything's
Now let's
broken.
tweak it again. Let's he's
Yeah.
the ultimate quincunx all by itself.
Yeah. Let me see what I put there. Balance.
And again, it's that lifting of a finger and disturbing the universe,
Mm-hmm.
the farthest star. And then
Yeah.
last but not least, well, no, are you still, did you
No,
find what you were looking for?
yeah, no, we're good. Sorry.
No, I'm just looking at the time, but we're
Mhm.
okay. And then gender.
The
The
law,
last law is gender.
and that's Libra. Libra. So you have to have a balanced masculine and a balanced feminine to and know that everything else does too. Everything it, but you can see it. You can clearly see when something's out of balance between divine feminine and divine masculine. It
Right.
doesn't even. It could be, your pen. When you push the thing on the pen, there's a divine masculine, divine feminine part to the pen. Lots of parts, everything. But
Right.
the the thing about that is really important right now too is that when Venus and Mars were in Leo, and he just left a little while ago, but they were helping us get that balance in internally of that divine masculine and divine feminine. Are you too harsh, or are you too soft? These are things that we ought to be mindful of.
So it's the stableness of interdependent elements,
Thank you.
right? And
Mhm.
we can always relate it to, Vive la différence. If you remember that old movie, Some Like It Hot.
Mm, I love that movie. God, Marilyn Monroe,
Yeah.
hilarious. I mean, it was just the best movie. Oh
So
my
these universal laws, you can find the list, Google it. You can find a list on the internet for sure. And it's always a slow, observant study of the little things, and then a and even smaller nuances of that, and then the even smaller ones till we have separated the atom and we see how the atom works. Now,
God.
remember how they used to say the atom worked like this? No, it doesn't. The atom now, what they know is that each one of those little tiny beads in the atom is actually a vibration that just keeps going around and
Mhm.
around in the Taurian. What is that? I keep forgetting
our,
the
our
Taurian.
Taurus field, because we are an
The,
energy field. So our energy comes up and out, up and out, up. That's why I'm always saying connect to your higher self, ground into Mother Earth, because this really helps you to clear that energy, that Taurus field. But those little parts in this cell are quarks, the molecules. The quark. There's
right,
just and quantum physics is finding even
right,
smaller particles. But that's
right.
everything is moving, and nothing can be, um, nothing, energy can neither be, oh, dang it, I forgot that again.
Well, electricity travels on the wires. The wires have to be malleable so that the electricity can go through it. So what happens? It heats up, and so it expands a little bit to allow that electricity room to flow through it.
Mhm. Actually, that, we're electromagnetic, right? And everybody thinks that inside the wires is where the electricity is, but it is literally on the top of it, moving.
That's why if you've ever noticed cords sometimes just get hot,
Hmm.
especially in older homes where the wiring's older and
Hmm.
you're using an old lamp with an old cord, blah, 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 because it has expanded so many times. My vacuum cleaner cord does
Thank
that.
you, Jay. I know I had a couple vacuum cleaner cords to do that and get real hot. It
Yeah,
freaks me out. Jay put it up there. Energy can't be created or destroyed, and that's Einstein, I believe.
that's right.
I was
It's
saying it wrong.
it is its own.
So we
E
are
equals MC squared.
right. But everything we do, every thought we think, everything ripples out. It ripples out. So
Every
being,
action.
yeah, a reaction has a reaction, but being love, if you're centered in your heart as love and unconditional love and truth, that ripples out all around you. And it just, I think it's beautiful when you think about how everybody is rippling out their own energy fields.
Right.
I was going to pull a card, or if anyone wants a card, we could do that. But I was going to pull a card for the collective.
All right.
Hi, Jenny. Yeah, she is so talented. Juno is so talented.
Yeah.
All of you are, though. I mean, all of you.
Yeah.
Have their own gifts. I guess we'll just do a. Thank you, Jay. We'll do a card for everybody. And thank you all for coming and hanging out with us. And please, if you have any questions, ask them while we're here. We can maybe focus in a little on something if you want. All right.
Oh, yeah. If anybody has a question that they need or would like a card, what'd you get?
Oh. Okay. Well, they both resonate. I got Lady of the Lake, New Beginnings. Something is about to happen. This is
Ooh.
our lives. This is us. We're about to happen.
Yep.
And then I got Gentle Force, consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. And this is what we're doing. We're taking our time, taking those pauses, those deep breaths, feeling into our heart for the long game. Because where is it that you want to? Where is it that your heart's biggest wish, you know? All right, sorry, what do you got?
Oh, transformation. You know, this is the autumn card. Magic is happening. Magic's afoot. It's the ripening of everything. And then how do we do that, right? We stick to those universal laws by taking the road less traveled. Because if we get caught up in the energy of the 3D world, which most of us have harder and harder time relating to and being a part of. So when we get off that beaten path, we can be the higher self.
Mm-hmm.
And you are not alone. We have a partnership going forward, and that's all of us here.
Yeah, and that's beautiful, because that's exactly what we're doing as light workers, love workers, energy workers. We thought we were all alone just a few years ago. Look, we've met each other, and I'm so grateful that you're here with us. Oh my God, so grateful I met all of you, and to know that we are here for a purpose, you know, and that purpose is to raise the vibration, so all can be. I see freedom. You know, I got Aquarius rising, so everything's about freedom to me. So. But that's
Can I say something really quick, 1 minute? Because there was a thing about the North and South Node. And I want to add that if your North Node is in Aries and your South Node is in Libra, you're going to feel it even more than someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever Aries is on your chart is where it's going, the house that it's going to fall in for its activity for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the reverse, if you have your North Node in Libra with the transiting South Node in Libra, you're going to have a double cycle of re-examining what works, what doesn't work. And the same thing with your North Node. If your South Node is in Aries and your North Node is in Libra, that cycle is going to be working for you there, particularly when it gets to the point that it is sitting on your sign, conjunct to your nodes. So I know Juno has that in her chart, and I have a friend who I was reading for a little earlier, and she has an Aries sun. So that North Node is almost on her Aries sun right now. So
Aaron's got a question. Sorry, Aaron has a question. Her natal Pluto is 28 degrees Libra and Saturn 2 degrees Scorpio. Are 4 to 5 degrees apart. Does that count as a conjunction?
Between Scorpio and Pluto, or Saturn and Pluto?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
I give those big, heavy planets
8
6
degrees.
degrees the most,
Yeah.
but you
Well,
got to know. They're,
when I'm looking at someone's personal chart, I consider how many other planets are in that same house.
yeah.
Close, what kind of support is in there as to how that orb actually is closer together, And
And,
is there anything in between that orb?
hmm and that
And
goes,
because,
that's the hardest part. Like when someone asks one thing about their chart, it's your whole chart gives you so
yeah,
much information. And Diana does readings. I'll put her email in, and I do readings too. If
right.
anyone wants a reading, contact us. So I'm
And we've been known to work together if you want us both.
yes, we do. We have fun
So,
together.
and so it's just what's strung together, Think of
Hmm.
it as if you have like I did someone's chart who had such a long, long line of everything in Sagittarius. It was just like there were 9 planets and asteroids combined in her Sagittarius, including the sun. And so it was like, okay, this is a train. And it's not a train wreck because of the positions that it was in. It can be whatever you want it to be. But in reality, the way it was strung together, it's a success story. And it is for the person whose chart that was.
Yeah, and your chart is your individual blueprint from spirit. It's the guide, right? It's the guide to get you through this lifetime. Uh, but the chart's only really half of it. It's how do you fill in those details, So the details are what matter. But you have an overall general view of okay, this is where I'm heading. And believe it or not, when we look at charts, you see people are already doing their chart, whether they know it or not. You're doing it because that's just how. That's why I believe in astrology so much because you can see that so clearly.
Right. And whenever you get frustrated with yourself, you can see that in the chart. And that frustration, do your Saturn. Whenever you're frustrated with your own self-sabotage or your own, should have been, I knew better than to do that, whatever. Do your Saturn to get you out of it because Saturn is the dad of the zodiac. He's the school principal. He's the Pope.
I don't know. My Saturn's in retrograde and it's been kicking my butt in the 12th house. I, really though, knowing where these nodes are, what houses they are for you, look for Aries and Libra, um, and look for where your Leo is too, because Leo's a big player. Going to stay that way for the rest of the month.
Right.
As soon as the sun changes. All right. Any other questions? Anyone? Oh, poor Juno. She thought she was going to die last night. She was so sick. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Been rough, man. These energies are no joke. Ron, he says it says my north node is 29.31 degrees in Aries. Oh my God, Ron, you're absolutely having a north node return at this moment.
at this moment, that's where the North Node is. Let me
Ron,
look really fast.
did you have anything that you are like on fire to get something done or to do something? Or hi, Jenny. Hi, Jay.
The North Node is right now at 29 degrees and 56 minutes. So it's getting closer and closer by the minute. Of course,
day or two.
a 1 minute arc in the sky is a little bit slower than a minute on Earth.
Yeah,
But
about a day.
yeah, tomorrow, day after, and that's a critical degree.
Yeah, very critical.
That's a decisive degree.
Hmm. And that's why you know what you want. You know what you want. When you talk to Ron, it's coming from his heart and he knows what he wants.
And that's the card,
Really
Ron.
cool.
Just flip this card up.
That is
It's
so
all,
cool.
you know what you want. It's already in your hand.
Mm-hmm. Jenny's Aries. Yes, you are beginning anew. You are.
Yeah,
Wow.
that
The
North
sun,
Node's going to hit your sun.
you can't
All
make
that
this
is going to
stuff up.
add.
Yeah, you can't. You really can't make this stuff up. Let's see.
And Juno said something about
I'm right there with you, Joe G. I'm about completing my second Saturn return too, but Pluto's been just sitting right there.
I'm approaching my third. I'm in the closing
Oh my
square.
goodness, you're nowhere near your third Saturn return. You, you are not. Well, I don't know. Maybe
I had my Jupiter return.
years.
My yeah.
Hi,
Second.
Kate. Kate says she was late. No worries. Joe G is a Cap sun with Pluto back in her sign. Oh my goodness, yeah. But you know that Pluto going back into Capricorn is really helping us.
Yeah.
Get this stuff out.
We can't do it without it, actually.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He gets a bad rap.
I love Pluto. If you're in integrity and honest and have, the best for everyone, Pluto's right there, works with you. But when he's in your chart on a degree, like for 3 years now or longer, he's been sitting on my Saturn. He just kind of moved. But now he's going to my Jupiter.
He's a psychopomp. So if your intentions are not in integrity and positivity, he's gonna take you to the underworld.
Take you for a ride.
I'll stay with Ma'at, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm hoping that when I get to the pearly gates, my heart weighs less than a feather.
Oh gosh, yeah, it does. Yours does. Everybody here is heart-centered and soul-centered, loving people. But anybody have any questions, you can email us. Everyone have a great night. We will be back on the full moon, the next moon cycle.
Yeah, is that the 9th of August? 8th of August? Sometime soon.
I'm not sure.
2 weeks from now.
There's so much going on. Do you know I haven't even been able to look out that far because of everything going on in astrology now. It's just so crazy. Oh. Okay.
Ooh, I love that, Juno. Boom, boom, boom. Out goes the lights.
Mm-hmm. All right. So full moon. Oh goodness. I can't even get it. I don't know what's going on. All right, guys. I'm worried about the dogs, so I gotta.
Yeah. It's time for us to go. So that you can take care of, buddy.
Yeah, and we'll be back. We love you. We love you hanging with us. Thank you so much. Guys, have an awesome new moon in Cancer and a nodal change. And focus on your heart.
Stay in a steady stream of divine white light.
We love you. Love you.
Bye-bye.